recording everything together and my feedback was coming through. So if we can start again. I'm Sharon Price. I have a new YouTube channel called Author Sharon Price. This is the Spirit Program Live. I do live events in the public, also hybrid events. So you could join us either through YouTube, through Facebook, through Zoom, or come to live events in the Maryland area. But hopefully, we will continue to work on our uh, process of putting these three together. And by the time you join us the next time, we'll have it down. I'm going to share a screen tonight. We're going to talk about the gift of love. It's a book I wrote about 10 years ago now, when I thought I'd really conquered what that meant. And I definitely have learned a lot since that time. And I want to share again my screen with you from my PowerPoint tonight. I don't normally share it, but hoping that it comes through okay and you're able to see this without any problems. So let me start from the beginning. I call your heart not what beats in your chest. Your heart, of course, that keeps your physical body going. The heart of your soul is where we, feel our emotions, where we, really set the tone for who we are, our characteristics. And a lot of times we're fighting between the ego and the spirit. And that's where some of these things come in, where we forget who we really are. We forget how to love, and we're always protecting our heart. So, put this big bubble around the heart tonight to show you that people do put walls up. And when you put walls up, you're not able to fully open up, to love someone or love yourself. So sometimes it's because we get stuck in time. We get stuck in uh, the past. We repeat old patterns, and it's always because of fear, always because of expectations. And love is an expression. It's shown through actions. Um, so the reason I'm saying that is because we always set ourselves up for these same patterns and these same failures because we're looking for other people. If you would, if that person would, cook for me, if that person would, clean off my car, if that person would just, do something when I ask. There's always these expectations, and expectations is not unconditional love. And with the gift of love, it's really about learning to love yourself. It's learning how love starts with the very first breath we take into this world. And it's who formed us, who molded our lives. What kind of expectations do they have of us? Were we told we disappointed someone because we didn't follow through on something they wanted us to do when we were a small child? We don't come into this world um, feeling unloved. It's once we get into this physical world and we're conditioned by society and by the things that, again, people expect of us, even at young ages, that we learn these patterns and then we somehow fall out of love with ourselves. And that doesn't make sense to some people, but you can't open your heart to love somebody unless you love yourself first. And that starts with becoming your own best friend. It's self-love, it's self-care, it's self-nurturing, it's self-respect, it's acceptance. When you become your own best friend, how do you become friends with someone else? You get to know them. And over time we lose parts of ourselves. So we find once we find emotional balance, that is the key to happiness. And it's the key to, the beginning of your overall well-being. Um, Everybody talks about love and they talk about, that person doesn't love me. Someone can't open their heart up to love if they don't love themselves. It's very hard for someone to give you something that they can't even give themselves, that they can't accept themselves. And so the key is when we're looking for people and we're having expectations that if they just did something for us, that they would prove their love, then we're actually asking them to be responsible for our own happiness. And really, the only person that can make you happy is you. and the only person that knows what makes you happy is you. A lot of times people wear, what I call fake masks. They pretend to be something, or they're not authentic, or do something just to fit in, just to be liked. Society teaches that from a very young age. If you think back about when you were in school, maybe you were in a gym class and everybody wore a uniform back when I went to school. That was a lot of years ago. Um, I'm not saying I'm that old, but I have to say a lot of years ago, if I'm talking about, uniforms. But think about teams. We say teams are about being diverse and having different personalities and different players and different people. But why does everybody wear the same jersey? Why do they have to wear the same uniform? It could be the same color so that we can, differentiate between the other team and the team that is playing against you if you're playing a team sport. But why can't you be unique, in what you do? Why? And that's where it starts. We dress like other people, we talk like other people, we act like other people, and eventually, who are you? You're like everyone else, and you're just fitting in. And we're not meant to fit in. We're meant to stand out. The only person that needs to love you is you. And that's a hard thing to do. That's the hardest thing we learn to do. Um, I'm going to say it. Your creator, the divine spirit, God, created you, and you were created perfectly. There was nothing that was, wrong with any aspect of how you were created. But yet we try so hard to fit in. So it's not that approval that we need from spirit, from God. It's from yourself. If you love yourself and you are unique and you find ways to figure out the things that make you happy, that give you joy, that bring you passion, then you will then align with the people that like you for who you are. You'll be aligned with the people that you're meant to be with. And it won't be you're with the wrong people. Everybody keeps saying, well, why do I keep going in the same pattern? I get the same type of person and then I repeat the same thing over and over again. It's because you're changing who you really are or masking who you are in order to fit in with those people, with those friends, or with the person that you have a love relationship with, or the person you're married to. And then when you suddenly wake up and realize that you're being someone, you're playing a role, you're playing a part, you're not being authentic. So it's like being an actor, an actress. You're not being who you are, then you are faking it. And when you finally say, oh, I can't do this anymore, and you really find your true self, then, that person says you've changed, but you're not changing. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. But that person somehow along the journey, wherever you are in your life and whatever age you are, that started to change only because other person that wanting an acceptance from someone else and love from someone else and attention from someone else became more important than being true to yourself. And that's because of fear that we won't be with a group of people, fear that we won't have friends, fear that we'll never love again. But that's not true. God made us unique for a reason. And I've said this in like a lot of my past videos, but you're as unique as your fingerprint. You're supposed to be that unique person, and you're supposed to be loved and cherished by yourself. That, and as silly as that might sound to some people, it's because you don't love yourself, truly, unconditionally. Unconditionally means you can laugh at yourself, you can let yourself make errors. That doesn't mean going and being, self-absorbed, and self-love are totally different things. Unconditional love means there's no conditions attached to my being here, to where I am, that to know that you're here for personal growth, and we change constantly. But that changing has to be because you want to better your own life, because you want your own personal growth. And we're always looking outside of ourselves when all of the answers are inside, when all the changes have to occur within you. And when you find that place, everybody always talks about all these things, but they don't give us the tools to do it. And I'm telling you tonight, the best way and the way to start is by treating yourself the way you would if you were giving someone all your attention, all your love, and all your care. Have you ever done that for a friend, for a parent, for a child, for someone that you really, really care deeply for? You ever hear someone saying, you have a heart of gold, or she has a heart of gold, or he has a heart of gold? That's pure love. That means there is nobody, nothing that will take away your joy or your happiness or your confidence about who you are, because you're comfortable with who you are. You're okay with who you are. And people say they are, but then you watch them change when they get around certain people. So they act certain ways at certain times, depending on who they're with. Have you ever had a really close friend and you never met their other friends, and then you meet up with them somewhere and you don't even know who that person is? And it may be because that person's comfortable with you. So they show you all their sides, and that makes people feel vulnerable. But it's okay to be that way. It's okay to be authentic. And it's okay to say I love you when someone doesn't say it back. But you know, I, everybody does this, including myself. It used to be that if I wanted to find someone that I wanted to date or I wanted to have as my partner, it would be this list of things. That person would be, not just kind and caring, but they would do this for me, or be the type of person that would open your door, buy you flowers, or make me dinner, or and vice versa. I would do the same thing. But it wears down over time because you can't keep up that, you know, you've got to do the self-care things yourself. So you can't keep up that kind of energy to always be doing something to please another person. And so then it changed to I want to meet somebody that loves me as much as I love them. Well, that's also an expectation. So I twisted that around, and now this is the way I feel about it. I want someone in my life to stand beside me and walk with me that loves themselves as much as I love myself. And that's when you're going to be married with a perfect partner. It's not when you expect things from them. It's not friendships that only have if the person's doing for you. It's just their presence should be enough. That's a gift, believe it or not. When a friend calls you on the phone to check on you, when someone surprises you to show up to say hi, or someone makes a date with you to go out and have a cup of tea or do something, do you appreciate those people? Do you appreciate yourself in that way? Typically, if we don't love or know how to love deeply, and we don't know how to stop having expectations, we have those same expectations of ourselves. How do you treat yourself? How do you talk to yourself? What tone do you use? Are you kind and compassionate, caring at all times? Do you allow yourself to, be human and not always, be perfect, and not always have to be the one either in the spotlight, or that is the one that, does it all. Just, I don't need to be needed in that way. And neither do you. When you really say that you will do things, you'll do more things than you ever did for anyone. And everyone will want to be that's supposed to that aligns with who you are, will want to be your friend because they see genuinely how you are. You're being genuine, you're being transparent, you're being authentic. And there's nothing more beautiful than someone being authentic, someone that really truly loves. If you ever remember Mother Teresa or Princess Diane, they weren't faking what they were doing. They did what they did out of the goodness of their heart. But even people that give and give and give don't know how to open their heart to receive. That's a really tough thing. And I really, really learned a lesson back in 2012 when I had an accident. A lot of you have heard me talk about it. It was a bad accident where a deck gave way that I was on. And I'm not going to go into the story. I really thought that I had good boundaries and that I really knew myself and that I really loved myself. And it was this unconditional love. But I wouldn't even accept help. It was very hard to accept help. It was very hard to have someone do something for you and to ask. That's one of the hardest things, is to ask something of someone. And if you trust somebody, then you'll do that without thinking that you're imposing. And if they don't want to do it, it's their right to say no. But the biggest thing about trust is trusting yourself and getting to know yourself enough. And a lot of times, the reason we get caught up in this, you know, vicious circle and cycle is because we made decisions in our past when we were younger or at some time in our life where it didn't go the way we wanted, and we lost trust in ourselves. But part of developing a great relationship with anyone, a best friend, is that you trust them and know that sometimes they're going to, make errors. There's going to be, poor judgment, but you forgive them. So, what is self love and unconditional love? It's always forgiving yourself, always and forever, no matter what, even if no one else does. It's your job, it's your duty, it's your responsibility, it's your accountability to yourself. You owe yourself that. You owe yourself that kind of love. I am very sad when I hear about anyone that ever contemplates or takes their life. And I'm going to talk about it tonight because I wrote a grief series called the Survivor Series, and it's free on my website. And there are 5 or 6 books in the series right now, and I am adding additional ones to the series. But one of them is The Loss by Suicide. And I've always said that if someone truly deeply loves themselves and understands the depth of the love that God has for you, just the way you are and who you are, you would never ever contemplate or do that. And I know that people get into such emotional pain sometimes and they grieve the loss of someone that left them either, physically or they passed away. And we feel that we lose our whole sense of who we are. But then that means you lost your purpose. You lost the love for yourself. And that's really not something that you want to do. You're here for your own purpose. You're here for your to live your own life and your own journey, no matter how important those people are. Look, I've had a lot of people in my life that have passed, that I've lost, and relationships that have been severed and lost. But that doesn't mean that my life isn't as important as the ones that have passed, and that I'm honoring them by going forward and not only living my life and learning from all the things that I learned from all those people that I met and knew and loved, that I love myself enough to care for myself the way I have other people. And I think that's critical. And when we stop feeling the pain because of rejection from other people, everything you're looking for outside, you can find inside. It's in your soul, it's in your spirit. That's where all of it lies. And again, I'm not talking about being self-absorbed. That all comes from the ego. That's when you don't care about other people, you don't care about their feelings, you don't care about, what they think. But you have to have a line where someone's opinion, yes, you can listen to it, but it shouldn't um, come before your own. And maybe, someone doesn't understand why you live your life your way or what direction you're going in. As long as you're not harming another individual in any way, then you should be able to live your life whatever way you want to and however you want to. You should be able to be unique and diverse and without other people judging you and putting you down. And and if they do, then they're not the right people. They're not the people that you should be connecting with. Everyone has their tribe. That's what I believe. And I believe that when you find yourself, when you find that deep seated love, that unconditional love, that you care for yourself, self care is, sleeping well, eating, feeding yourself, making sure you move your body, nurturing yourself, self nurturing things, buying your own flowers, making your own dinner, doing the things that you have done for other people and turning it inward and respecting yourself at all times. That means talking kind, not beating yourself up. That is not motivational for anyone to beat themselves up, and acceptance at all times. Wherever you are right now is where you are, but that doesn't mean that you can't have personal goals and growth to change, but only on your own terms, not because someone's trying to force you to change in order for you to be liked or loved or to be in a relationship with them. So I truly hope that something I said here tonight resonated with you. If anyone ever has questions, you can reach out to me. I'm available. you can go on my website, you can find my email. I have a coaching program that I've been doing now. This is my 20-year anniversary. It's called the Spirit Program. I'm very proud of that program. It's helped people find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance, to be able to change their lives in a profound way. It is different for every person. I wrote 10 books that became a national course book. They're all in one book now called Your Toolbox for Life, and it's considered the wellness Bible of the industry. That's what it's for. It's to help you find that place within you, that gets you, that gets you where you need to go, that helps you recognize how important you are, that helps you shed the old patterns, and the old ways in order to, shine. And that's all I ever want to do, is just be a light for the people that I'm around. And that doesn't mean doing everything for them. That means loving myself enough and caring for myself enough that my actions speak louder than words. And what people see that I do, they can recognize that they can do it themselves because I live by these tools. I use these tools myself. And when I wrote them from experience, and I love to share them. So I want to talk about the retreat that we have coming up. It's in April. It's April 21st. It's a hybrid event. And this event will have someone professionally there, making sure that all of our electronics are working together, unlike what was going on with me tonight. Again, I apologize if you were there for the first part of this and then jump back on. I hope they're all working right now. I hope this is live and you're able to, yeah, at least be part of the recording tonight. But the Spirit Expo is going to have three speakers, myself, an astrologer, Donna Stellhorn, and then our chiropractor here locally, Dr. Andrew Williamson. He's going to also be speaking that day. And we're going to bring you an amazing, I call it awakening, awaken your soul, like just tools and wisdom and things that we've learned through our past, through our journeys that we can share with you, that'll help you open up your heart more, find your true authentic self. And again, it's just a spin-off from the program I've been doing for many years. I'm excited to have it on the 20-year anniversary. You can always find information about all of our live events. Some are free, some are paid events. We're trying to do as many of them as we can in 2024, so they're hybrid, so that you can participate no matter where you are, because I have clients that are in all different areas and all different states. So please go to www.getintothespirit.org. We used to have www.getintothespirit.com, but we've had a problem with the website. If you do that, it's just going to say error. So again, we now have www.getintothespirit.org, and you can also go to thespiritprogram.com. And then again, I do a grief healing group program. I do the 12-week program. It's also done in groups. And then I do spiritual channeling sessions. So you can find all of that on the website and available for, through our virtual studio. And there's also things that I do events out live, where you can come and participate as well. So again, I hope this was useful. Please share with other people, leave your comments, and please take advantage of our Survivor series that's on the website. It's free and they're downloadable. And it has the same toolbox in each one of those downloadable ebooks so that you have them to use throughout your lifetime. And if you need help at any point, whether that's coaching or counseling or, someone to encourage you, please do whatever you need to do to better your own life and to be comfortable in your own skin. So again, the gift of love is also on the website, so you can check it out. And I'm going to be doing more around this series and that book, free live events throughout the entire year. So again, thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope to see you again soon. Blessings.